Hi, this is Nathan Markley, and this is the Nathan Markley Show podcast. This show originally aired on WNRI 1380 AM and 99.9 FM on Friday, July 31st, 2026. This is Season 3, Episode 21. Enjoy!
Yeah! Friday nights! WNRI! Winding down slow, radio on, like he's riding shotgun all night long. Me and Nathan, that same old voice, stories rolling, easy choice. I'm staying in for the Nathan Markley Show every Friday night on my radio. From WNRI, yeah, the signal rolls through the walls, down to my soul. I'm staying in for the Nathan Markley Show. Let the whole town drive, I'll let 'em go. I'll be right here where the stories flow. Tuned in time to the Nathan Markley Show.
Whoa! Hello, everyone. How are you this Friday evening? Nathan Markley here. You're listening to the Nathan Markley Show on WNRI 1380 AM and 99.9 FM in Woonsocket. Tonight, we have a great conversation coming up. And as always, my dad, Glenn, will be joining me for Ask a Mechanic around 6:25 and your questions answered. You can submit your questions by calling in or visiting our website at nathanmarkley.net/askamechanic. The number to call is 401-766-1380, 401-769-0600, and toll free at 1-800-949-WNRI. That is 401-766-1380, 401-769-0600, or toll free at 1-800-949-9674. You can also stream us live at WNRI.com or on TuneIn Radio app. And show notes, links, and more are always free at nathanmarkley.net/podcast. And we're back for another week, week 22.
That's great. How you doing, Nathan?
Yes, I'm doing good. It's been a busy week this week.
Yes, it has.
Everything. I know yesterday you and I, along with my brother and his wife, went to Monster Jam.
That was fun.
That was pretty fun. We spent a good afternoon and all night there. We went to the pit party. We got to see the different trucks out there and to meet the drivers. And they had a dirt bike show. We're doing like flips and going up ramps.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll have to explain what Monster Jam is. It's a monster
okay.
truck.
Yes, monster truck. Yeah.
Event. You know, it could be a show where they have an expo at the pit party, and you can see the trucks and get to meet the drivers. Then they have the actual, I guess you'd call it the show or the competition, where there's a race. You know, the two trucks race against each other at a time, and it's an elimination. They started with 12 trucks. 2 had some mechanical problems, and actually 10 raced. That racing is pretty interesting because it's unlike any other automotive sport or motorsport, because it's a monster truck, over 1,000 horsepower and 1,000 horsepower powered engine, giant tires, a 4-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, and they race on dirt. And what's unique about this race is, of course, it starts from a standing start, so it's kind of like a drag race first.
Yeah.
Then they have to go at the end of that track. They have to turn, come back, turn again, and then go up to the finish line.
Yeah.
So it's like a lap and a half of this track. But the key is, not only is it a drag race, they have to learn how to quickly churn their vehicle using 4-wheel steering, which is a lot different, of course, than another vehicle that most vehicles have only front wheel steering.
Yeah, and what's pretty cool, different, because we went to Monster Jam. You took us when we were younger, like over 10 years ago.
At the Civic
now.
Center, yeah.
At the,
Last night was Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, at the Civic Center. So it's a much smaller stadium. And for those who know the Civic Center, first thing in Rhode Island, so you should know, but it used to be called the Dunkin' Donuts Center. And now it's like a Mika pavilion, whatever. But this is at Gillette, and so it's a much bigger stadium because it's a football-sized field. So they have a lot more real estate, room to drive around, and because it's open too, so they can really try to get the car, jump off the ramps too, right?
Right. So not only is it like the racing part of it, like that race, they also have the freestyle event where these trucks can do incredible maneuvers, tricks. You know, they can make them jump in the air, corkscrew around in the air. They can flip them up, actually flip them over, like do a backflip with these ramps. They can jump from one ramp to the next. They can drive on two wheels, the left side or right side.
So getting it back, to back it up a little bit, we went to the pit party before in the afternoon before the show because the show started at 7, and that was the first time we've done that. And it was pretty fun, even though it did rain on us, but we were in the tent. We did bring rain gear, coats, but it was raining on and off throughout the day.
Yeah,
but it was still a fun day, and to see, I was amazed at how many people were actually at the pre-show.
Families mostly, young children, and what amazed me was how much their marketing has expanded from when I was taking, my son, 2 sons and daughter many, many years ago, maybe over 20 years ago, to the Civic Center to see this event. Now it's the branding of the trucks, like all the different truck names, and, Gravedigger's pretty common, but there's many different franchises that have trucks and sponsors. And, you see people wearing the driver outfits and T-shirts with their favorite driver and truck name, very creative truck designs and names for the truck. So it's really grown into a great big business, which is fun because it's a nice event for families to go to, and not just families, but for the young kids, but a lot of the adults were really getting into it and enjoy it because it's a lot of driver skill. It's high performance engines and noise and the spectacle of these big trucks doing what I call, they call it freestyle. I call it like ballet and tricks.
Yeah,
it's like gymnastics.
Different tricks. I mean,
it's very cool.
What's pretty interesting though, they're able to balance the truck and the front two wheels and kind of like walk the truck back, forward and backwards. That was pretty cool. I'm guessing you can do that when you have a better suspension and shocks and stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. And they just learned that with the tire diameter being so large and the gear reduction like being 6.25 to 1 ratio in the differential, they can control it very easily with the brakes, and the brakes are on the drive shafts or the drive line, not at the wheels.
Oh, okay.
And they can just idle the engine and move it slowly, hit the brake, it stops. And they just, if it starts to fall over backwards, they give it a little more gas. If it starts to fall over forwards, they'll lighten up on the RPM and hit the brake.
Yeah, it'd actually be pretty cool to see if we can drive one of those trucks too.
I'd love to. But you can also go online to their website, monsterjam.com, and see recorded events. And if you haven't seen it yet, when I explain the freestyle competition, I call it gymnastics for the trucks, it's pretty amazing to see what they can do with these heavy, big trucks.
And
there were a couple of trucks that broke their front axles.
Yep, I was just going to get them. A wheel fell off.
A couple flipped over and landed on the roof, and they picked them right up again with the help.
The other thing, too, I think they did different from when we went is they let the fans vote. I don't know, before we did, because we didn't have technology, and everyone didn't have a smartphone because we went in the late 90s and early 2000s, so we didn't have this type of technology. And so they put a QR code up on the screen, and you scan the QR code, or they show you the web address, and you can vote on the different competitions of freestyle for what truck you want to win.
So the fans voted for the winners.
It's more engaging for the fans too, not just so they engage the fans into it for make the fans feel like they're part of the show.
Right. So that's one of the 3 events, the main events, and then the other 2 events are scored by judges, not the fans. And then there's an overall winner.
Yeah.
First, second, and third place overall for the 3 events that they compete in. And one of the events is the freestyle, like I said, and the fans vote who the winner is of that.
Yeah.
So, the people that would do the trucks that were doing the backflips and, landed, continued on driving and did some donuts and maybe did a few more jumps. Those are the ones that really wowed the crowd and got the 10s and the 9s.
Yeah.
And it was a close finish. I mean, there was only a 0.2 points. So like 9.2, 9.4 were the winners.
Yeah.
And only 0.2 of a point for 3 different trucks determined the winner.
Yeah. It was a pretty fun night, too.
If you've ever gone to Jump Monster Jam, call in and let us know what you thought about it.
Yeah.
Whether it was recent or a while ago. Because this sport has evolved. I call it a sport because of the skill the drivers need.
Yeah.
And there were many women that were competing, too. Compared to the 12 drivers, there were 4 women.
Yeah,
and 2 of them won one place overall and one place in the one in the freestyle.
Yeah, that's new this time around too. From a decade ago, more than a decade ago, there's mostly males, so that's pretty cool to see more females drive the trucks and how they customize their truck too.
And that's what I mean by it's a fun event, meaning it's all inclusive, men, women, fans of all ages. Mothers and fathers get into it. And I've even seen people, fathers and mothers there yesterday that were, had their children in tow, and they were, the mothers and fathers were wearing the T-shirts, and some were wearing, like I call them, the driver suits. So what the driver of the trucks would wear, their favorite driver.
Yeah.
They were mimicking them with their clothing.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably do a whole show on Monster Jam and all that, but we do have a question that emailed to me recently about photography. And what I ended up doing was I was hanging out with my friend Norm this past weekend, and I asked him if he can help me answer this question and over a video, because I'm going to be starting a new YouTube channel called Markley Chats. And I'll explain a lot about that in the video that I'm going to play in a moment. But so Norm said absolutely he'd be more than happy to help me out and answer the question. And I figured it'd be a perfect time to play that audio and answer that question. That question came in from Sal.
Okay.
And it's about photography, and he had a question about shutter speed. Well, I actually read the question in the video. So I'm going to play that right now. And then if we have the time, maybe we could talk about it. I don't think we have too many questions, because Norm did a really good job about explaining the question. It was really self-explanatory.
What was the question?
It's about shutter speed. It's a photography question, shutter speed for sports photography. But I'm going to say the question in the video too. So here is that video. Hello everyone, welcome to the very first video of this channel. And I'm here with Norm up in Beavertail in Jamestown. It's a beautiful day out. So Norm, on my radio show, someone emailed me a question about shutter speed. And I figured you'll be a perfect person to help me talk about it. Okay. And also be a great first video for this channel. Okay. So this person wanted to know, what camera would you recommend for sports photography, specifically for baseball or softball? He wants to be able to have the shutter speed to capture the ball to bat contact. Okay. He currently has a Nikon D3000 18 to 55 VR2 kit. Okay. And he asks, is there a setting you recommend for the camera he has?
So personally, what I would recommend is the camera he has right now should be perfectly fine. Yeah. The lens that he has, though, he should upgrade his lens to something where he can zoom in, because an 18 to, what was it that he had?
18 to 55. So it's just a basic lens.
It's the kit lens that comes with the camera. Yeah. So what I would personally recommend is upgrading his lens to possibly the 70 to 300, because when you zoom in, you can zoom into 300. So for instance, I mean, they're not going to be able to see it on the YouTube video, but I have a 70 to 300 in my bag, and I could zoom in right from here to, there's people over there. I could zoom in to the other side.
So it's to those houses back there?
Yeah, not to the houses, but to the person who caught the ball over there. I think the person, or whatever that, Yeah. So over there. So I would recommend a 70 to 300.
So from this fence to the other side to the other fence.
So, I mean, that's far enough away for where they're doing baseball, because with baseball, you're going to be behind the fence. Yep. So you got to shoot through the fence, but also you got to get that angle of where you can get the batter and the pitcher, but you want like a close up of, the ball almost hitting the bat. So I would recommend the 70 to 300.
Yeah. And now for shutter speed, I'm thinking he probably wants a pretty fast shutter speed too, like a
yes. So
1/1000 or something like that.
It really depends on lighting, though. So if it's daytime and the sun is shining, you could have 1/1000, which that shutter speed is going to go really fast, and it's going to capture that ball hopefully in focus along with the batter. But it's got to be sunny out. So it really, there's something called the exposure triangle, which people can look up, which is your shutter speed, your ISO, which is fake light, and then you have your f-stop, which is your aperture. So for something like baseball and everything like that, the 70 to 300, I have an f4, which is, it only stops down to f4. So some lenses are f1.8, 2.8, f4, so that doesn't let in a lot of light. So they may want to invest in a f2.8, and then that way they have a really large opening when it's at f2.8. So the lower the number, the more wide your lens is going to be open. So therefore, f2.8 is going to let in a lot of light. So therefore, you can have a fast shutter speed. But then again, it really depends on the weather. So you gotta, what I would recommend is practice. Before you do that, go outside in every single condition. Well, not every, like sunrise. Almost every condition. Like, noon, by the way, is the worst time to ever take a photo. It's possible. You can do it. But you just get a lot of shadows underneath the eyes, and it's just not flattering. So you just don't want noon because it's straight overhead. But if you got to do what you got to do, so just go out and practice. Take just an object, and for instance, for us right now, put it across the pavement that we're on, and place it right there on the fence, and then just take pictures and see what looks good. And so therefore you can practice that way. So when you're ready for the baseball game, if they're not used to doing photography for baseball games, you have that. So, but 70 to 300, I would recommend. And if you have to get the f4, that's fine. That's cheaper. But
f2.8. He has a Nikon D3300. That's a pretty basic DSLR.
Yeah, that's what I started with, was a Nikon D3300. It's a crop sensor. It's a crop sensor. So therefore,
he can put it into shutter polarity and just adjust the shutter speed, and let the camera adjust the ISO and the aperture too, right?
Yes, he could, but he also needs to worry about the lens. Is it meant for a crop sensor, or is it meant for a full screen? Because if it's meant for full screen, I'm saying that wrong, but like full frame, there we go. Full frame. If it's meant for full frame, then he's fine. But then a 70 to 300 that's meant for full frame, that it's on a crop sensor, there's math involved. So you got to figure out the math. I personally am horrible at math. Not afraid to admit it. And so it crops it down. So if he wants to upgrade his camera, I would recommend a Nikon D850, which I believe that is full frame. I believe that is full frame. So, or the D7500, I believe, is also full frame. So you could do that as well. What I upgraded to from my D3300 was the Z5, which is full frame. So
okay. So you said, to recap, a good camera, but look at the lens. So
lenses
70 to 300 millimeter. And look for one that has a f-stop of, I think, 2.3, you said?
2.8.
2.8?
Yeah. Or if they can't afford that, because that is more expensive, f4 is fine. F4 is fine, but you just want a zoom lens.
A zoom lens,
you want a zoom lens.
With an f4, he can always up the ISO if he needs to.
Yes, he can up the ISO. Nowadays, because of Lightroom and everything, it does fantastic with denoise, which is getting rid of the ISO, which is the fake light that you're entering into the camera, because then when you use a higher ISO, it starts giving your photo grain. So it gets really grainy. But you can bring that into Lightroom, and it does phenomenal. But To a certain extent. I mean, you can push it, but I wouldn't push it too far.
Yeah. One thing we should talk about real quickly before we end is what is shutter speed? And shutter speed is capture the movement, right?
Yes. So shutter speed is how fast from open to close your shutter is. So when you, in fact, hold on just 1 second. I have my camera right here. I don't know if people will be able to see it on the camera right here, but I can show you. Yeah, so right here, that's the what's called the shutter right there. Yep. So the shutter's right there if you can see it. So with that, you the faster the shutter speed, the faster that's going to go. So if you have like 1/20, that's a really slow. So you're going to let in a lot more light. Yeah. But also for something like baseball, there's going to be a lot of movement. So you don't want that. Yeah. So therefore, you're going to want a higher shutter speed, probably like over 200. And then also, just to up this a little bit further,
higher shutter speed will freeze the action.
Yes, it will freeze the action. And the lower the shutter speed, you're going to need a tripod because too low, that also integrates, has no movement. Yeah. So therefore, I think it's 1/50. Anything lower than that, you're going to want a tripod because then you have movement just from your hands. It's really hard to stand still.
Yeah. So. Cool. Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I think this is a great first video too. Topic.
I think so too.
I want to do more of these different topics I'm interested in. And that's the whole point of this channel is to make videos, content of my interest in photography, technology, radio, just different things I'm interested in, talking with different people. Yeah. Sharing my life with autism too.
Awesome.
For being here.
Nice.
Just also get me out to make content and
meet people.
Meet people and be creative too.
Exactly, yeah. Get you out of your bubble.
Yeah.
Which we all need to get out of our bubble. We really do. Yes. I mean, I myself.
Well, thank you, Norm.
You're very welcome.
Helping me out with this video. Yeah, no, you're very welcome. Inviting me to Beavertail to take some photos. It's a beautiful day, and we're also losing light, so maybe we should get some more shots of a little bit of the sunset. I can see that on the side. Yeah. Before it gets dark out, and I see the lighthouse light coming on. That's a pretty cool shot.
Oh, definitely. That from back there, it's really cool too. So.
Yeah. And thank you everyone for watching. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
All
right.
Interesting.
It was interesting. So Sal, to recap, great camera, first camera. Recommend for taking baseball, softball, getting zoom lens, like a 70 to 300 millimeter, and looking for an aperture either 2.8 4.0, which that's where you can how much light you can let in. And I will leave a link to this video if you guys want to go back and listen to it, or even just see me and see Norm. The background of the video is us sitting on the fence post, the fence there. There's a wooden fence, a Beavertail, and the ocean's behind us. So it's pretty cool, and you can see there's some sailboats go by us.
Oh, check it out.
And the YouTube channel is called Markley Chats. MARKLEYCHATS. And I plan on posting more videos on that going forward in the coming months.
So that's the YouTube. They could search that in YouTube?
Yep.
Is it one word, Markley Chats? Or
it's two words. Yeah. Markley Even Chats. If you just type in my name, it should come up too. The Nathan Markley. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, Sal. And if anyone else have any photography questions or for me or technology questions, feel free to email or call us in. But
thanks for writing in, Sal.
Yes. All right. So it is 6:28. So we're going to take a quick ad break, and when we come back, we'll switch gears to Ask a Mechanic. I know we have a lot more stuff to talk about.
If you or anyone that you know would like to buy or sell a property, Lydia Smith, a realtor with the S3Ep21 Stahirsky Agency, would like to chat with you. Lydia has over 15 years of experience in the real estate profession and is well known for her professionalism. She has sold many properties over the years as a professional realtor and is well respected due to her experience in and knowledge of the Northern Rhode Island real estate market. You will be pleased by her quick response, her attention to detail, and her remarkably high level of integrity. Having purchased 2 homes and selling another myself, I can appreciate Lydia's knowledge, success, and professionalism as a trusted realtor. You can reach Lydia by calling her at 401-808-0430. Lydia promises a quick response to your call. Again, call Lydia Smith, professional realtor, at 401-808-0430 for your property buying or selling needs.
You're listening to the Nathan Markley Show on WNRI, 1380 AM and 99.9 FM, or online at WNRI.com and TuneIn Radio app. 401-766-1380 or 401-769-0600 or 1-800-949-9674 is the phone number to call. So, Dad, we had an email, a question emailed to us. And would you like to read that email?
Absolutely.
I don't have it in front of me right now.
Okay, this came from, who was this? Manny. Manny in Woonsocket. Fantastic. I hope you're listening this evening, Manny. If not, you can always listen to the recording at Nathan's website. But Manny writes in, he was told, his question was, I was told that I had to replace all 4 tires on my car when only the 2 front ones were worn out on the side edges. The place that I was at to get a price estimate said it was because my car was all-wheel drive. Why would they say that? My car is a 2015 CRV. Thanks. Okay, that's a good question because it's very common. Again, he said he had to get 2 tires. 2 tires were worn out on the side edges. I'll speak to that in a minute, why they were on the side, not all the way across. But the person or the place that he was getting the price at said they had to replace all 4 because it was all-wheel drive. Well, that's true, and I'll qualify that. It's true if the tread depth of let's say the 2 rear tires that weren't going to be replaced, if the tread depth was 2/32 of an inch less than the new tires that would be put in the front. So let's say new tires typically may be 10/32 tread depth to 13, depending on the type of tire. And the reason is if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle, it's not really four-wheel drive. The term four-wheel drive means that the driver can select when it's going to be four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive. And all-wheel drive means it's full-time all-wheel drive, a full-time four-wheel drive. But the proper word is if it's all-wheel drive, if it's all the time four-wheel drive, it's all-wheel drive. If you can select it and go from two to four-wheel drive, it's called four-wheel drive. So a vehicle that you can select four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive, and of course there's low and high speeds for that also. But if you can select it, you have a transfer case, and that transfer case splits the power after it comes out of the transmission output shaft, front and rear typically. Now that a lot of cars are all front-wheel drive and the engine's transverse or sideways, the unit that splits the power from front to rear, because typically the cars are biased with the power going to the front, and if they're all-wheel drive, they'll have what they call a PTU, a power transfer unit. Now, a PTU will split the power to the rear. So typically it's a front-wheel drive with all-wheel drive functionality or full-time four-wheel drive, and the power gets split to the rear. But it's not split 50-50. There's a viscous clutch, and that clutch can be controlled by a computer that senses how much power needs to be sent to the rear wheels, how much power or torque, and how much of the split. It could be a 40 to the rear, 60 to the front. It could be 50-50. It could be 30 to the rear, 70 to the front, depending on driving conditions and speed. So when you have a PTU with all-wheel drive, the tires need to be the same diameter. Okay, so let's go back to the tread depth. If you have a tire that has, when it's new, it has 10/32 of tread depth compared to one that's maybe used or worn, it's not 10, it's down to 4 or 6 tread depth and 36/32. If you were to measure the height of the tire with the tread wear, the tire with the more tread wear is actually a little bit taller. Now, that's a small amount. So let's say a tire is a 16-inch tire, 17-inch tire. That's the size of the wheel in the middle of the tire. the tire sidewall or aspect ratio at the top and bottom of the wheel may be 3 to 4 inches tall. So you have a 16-inch tire or wheel, the hole in the middle, plus 4 inches of sidewall above the tire and below, well, above the wheel and below the wheel. That's another 8 inches. So 16-inch wheel plus 4 and 4, right, is 24-inch wheel. The overall diameter is 24 inches. If your worn tires compared to the new tires you're going to put on, if you're only putting 2 on and not 4, those tires wherever they end up, wherever the old ones end up, and the new ones supposed to the front, the new ones wherever they're placed, their diameter is less. So the worn tire has a lower overall diameter, which means to travel the same amount of distance, it has to spin faster because the tires are on the same vehicle. So in order for that vehicle to travel half a mile or more, the tire has to rotate more times on the small diameter tire. Think of riding a bicycle where you're an adult and you have a 26-inch, 27-inch wheel or tire, 700C, 29-incher they call them sometimes. Your tire is rotating slower than your son or daughter riding along with you or on the side of you with a 16-inch or 20-inch tire. They have to pedal faster because their tires have to rotate more times to go the same distance that you both go the same. If we both want to go the same distance, the larger tire bicycle, the tires rotate slower than the ones with the smaller because the smaller ones have to go more rotations to get the same distance. So that measurement of how far a tire travels in one rotation is called a rolling circumference. So the overall diameter determines the rolling circumference. If you have 2 tires on the front or rear axle of an all-wheel drive vehicle that are new and have 10/32 of an inch, or let's say they're all 4 are worn and then they're all at 8, they're all rotating the same speed, same number of rotations per distance or mile. If the ones that are worn 6/32 compared to new ones that are 10, now you have tires on one axle rotating more than the other axle. So that causes excessive friction and binding in the PTU. And that PTU can wear out sooner than it would. It causes undue stress and especially heat on that PTU. So many manufacturers, it's not just the tire stores saying this, the manufacturer of the vehicle, this will be spelled out or described in your owner's manual if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle. So you can reference your owner's manual for that reason. But they recommend 4 tires at once being replaced. Again, the standard is 2/32 or more difference in tread depth between the tires in the front and the rear axle. You need to put all 4 on. So to prevent that from happening, when it comes time for tires, this is why frequent maintenance or tire rotations is important. Let's say every 5,000 to 7,000 miles, you should rotate the tires. And, depending on the type of miles you drive, once a year with wheel alignments. Because if the tire is wearing on the edges because of an angle like toe or camber that's out of spec, and it wears out the edges and not the middle of the tire, or feather edges the tire across the tread, you'll be needing new tires, or maybe 2 that are on the front axle, if they're not rotated regularly and the alignment isn't done properly, and frequently, once a year, like I said, or every 12,000 miles, you'll end up in this case that Manny's in, where he only needs 2 tires, but they're saying you need 4. And it's really the manufacturer saying you need 4 to prevent wear and tear on your PTU, or power transfer unit. So, Manny, they are correct. As always, get a second opinion or a second estimate if you're not comfortable with what you were told the first time by a service provider. Reference your owner's manual for information. And that is why they're probably recommending I'm sure that's why they're recommending 4 tires.
Yeah, that's
because if you here's the thing: if they put on just 2 tires and you really should be having 4, and something happened to PTU, you could always go back to them if someone told you this and say, "Oh, how come you didn't tell me I had to put 4 tires on? Or how come you let me put just 2 tires on?" They don't want that responsibility, so they have to go by what the manufacturer recommends for proper repair and service.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yes,
I learned a few things about that I know a little bit about rotating tires or changing them and the tread depth, but what you just said, like, you used the bicycle analogy of smaller tire, like a kid's bike and an adult bike, that must different size, different dimensions. And I just remember when would ride bikes when I was younger, how you could always go farther than me. You don't have to pedal as much. I have to always pedal more to catch up with you. That makes so much sense. It's the tire size.
Right. And even if you had, you shifted gears to a higher gear, so you had to pedal less or less rotation, your tire was still rotating many more times than a larger tire.
And you said 12,000 miles is usually what a lot of car manufacturers recommend to rotate them?
Oh, no, for alignment.
To alignment.
That's really, I would say it might be in your owner's manual maintenance schedule, but it's kind of like the general rule of the service industry for automobiles, because you may need it sooner. And that's why getting either you inspect the tires yourself or you have them inspected, visually, and look at the tread wear pattern. It should be smooth across from left to right and all the way around the circumference on all four tires.
I'll have to look at
you can have an alignment issue. Something's out of one of the angles is out of specification because of wear and tear, or something got bent in the steering or suspension, and you got to catch it sooner than later because it's going to wear the tire out quickly.
Yeah, I had to look at my car because I don't think I ever align my tires, but I don't drive that much, and I'm past 12,000.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You can check that later.
Yeah. Cool. Do we have a trivia question for this week?
Yes, I do.
And we'll say the trivia, and then we'll cut to an ad, and we'll come back. We'll see if anyone answers.
Yeah, feel free to call in and put any automotive question or concern. Okay. So in 1990, what was the make and model of the Indianapolis 500 pace car? So what was the make and model of the pace car for the 1990 Indianapolis 500 race? That's the question.
Awesome. So that's the trivia question. If you know that question, give us a call at 401-766-1380 or 401-769-0600 or toll free at 1-800-949-9674. And we're going to cut to an ad real quick. When we come back, we'll take more of your calls or answer the trivia question if someone wants to call in. And I know my dad has some more stuff to talk.
Yes, I got a lot more.
You're listening to the Nathan Markley Show, WNRI.
Accidents happen, but choosing the right repair shop makes all the difference. For over 45 years, Hillview Auto Body in Johnston has been the name Rhode Islanders trust. Established in 1980, a Gold Class certified and Class A body shop, we've invested in the highest level of training and technology to ensure your vehicle is repaired to the strictest industry standards, and we've built our reputation on quality craftsmanship, honest service, and getting the job done right the first time. From minor dents to major collision repairs, our expert technicians handle it all. We handle most of the claim process to make the repair process smooth and stress-free from start to finish. At Hillview Auto Body, your car isn't just another job, it's treated like our own. So when life throws you a bump in the road, trust the team that's been fixing them for decades. Hillview Auto Body, Johnston, Rhode Island. Quality you can see, service you can trust.
401-766-1380, 401-769-0600, or 1-800-949-9674 is the phone number to call. And if you know the answer to a trivia question, which is, what is the make and model of the pace car for the Indianapolis race in 1990?
Indianapolis 500, 1990 race.
Indianapolis 500 in 1990. Okay, well, what else do we have, Dad?
Okay, so this day in automotive history.
Oh, yes.
I have two to talk about. And when I say this day, my research was done last night, early last night, and it was June 30th. So I'm talking about June 30th.
July 30th.
I'm sorry, July 30th, right.
July 30th.
In 1863, Henry Ford was born.
Oh,
Henry
wow.
Ford the first. Okay. So he was born on a farm in Dearborn, Michigan. And then in 1996, the Chevrolet Beretta was last produced, or the last Chevy Beretta produced was on July 30th, 1996.
Wow, interesting. Awesome. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. And we have a caller.
Oh, okay. Let's take the call.
Hello, calling you live on the air.
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Well, hopefully they'll call back.
Oh. Right.
That's the only line that's lit up?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could.
Oh, we have this one. It's like this call.
Good.
Hello, caller. You're live in the air.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, happy Friday.
Hi.
I think that it was a Chevrolet Corvette.
Not a Corvette,
No.
but it was a Chevrolet. No, not a 1990. Indy 500.
Monte Carlo, maybe?
No.
I'm running out of cars.
I might have given you a hint about 2 minutes ago.
Let's see.
This day in history. Starts with a B.
Mm,
It was a 1990 model. It's a 1990 Chevrolet. What? Is this Mark?
No, this is Bill.
Oh, that's sorry, Bill. Sorry.
I think I give up. I'll let somebody else answer.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Thank you for. I won't give it away right now, but I will. We'll announce at the end of the show if no one calls in.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye bye.
All right. There's still a chance to answer the trivia question.
So, another thing I wanted to talk about was a recall. So one of the recalls that I found is fairly new. That I just learned about this week. Was interesting because it has a couple of points I want to. I always like to dissect, so to speak, a recall and see how bad it is. Is it truly safety? I mean, most of them are safety. That's why they're recalled. But how severe is it, and how many vehicles are affected? Even though there's so many that they have to inspect. So this one is Toyota Motor Company. It's recalling 4,408 vehicles total. And these vehicles were built, believe it or not, between April 10th of this year, 2026, and April 27th. So about 18 days worth of manufacturing, 5,408 vehicles need to be inspected. And out of those vehicles, there's, there's some Lexus TXs, 1,449, and the other 3,959 are the Grand Highlanders. So this SUV vehicle, 5,408 need to be inspected. And the problem is, in the rear of the vehicle, there's what they call an aluminum rear axle carrier. And the rear axle carrier not only supports the rear axle, but because it has independent rear suspension, the toe or toe angle, one of the alignment angles in the back, it's how the tire is. It should be facing straight ahead, not to the left, not to the right. It's individually adjusted. So you have left rear toe, right rear toe as an angle. Yeah. And if that's out of spec, you could have a thrust line, which causes the vehicle to want to turn on its own. It'll prematurely wear the tires out and feather edge them. It'll cause a crooked steering wheel. But that's not the problem with the recall. What happened is the manufacturer of that aluminum casting, the rear axle carrier, it's BHARAT, Barat Forge Aluminum USA. So this company called Barat Forge Aluminum USA noticed that some of the production batches that went into those vehicles skipped the aging furnace process. So they weren't aged properly or made strong when they annealed the metal. So that could break. And when that breaks, it can cause the toe attachment, the rod that adjusts the toe, where that attaches, it could cause that to break and separate, and you'd lose control of the vehicle. However, only 5% of the involved vehicles contain an affected part. So even though they're going to check 5,408 vehicles, only 270 they anticipate will need a new part.
All right.
So again, the two key points of this is 5,000 vehicles, only 5% affected, possibly. Or they think that no more than 5%. And what's really got my eye is that this, a person didn't find this, or an owner of the vehicle didn't find this. Toyota didn't realize this until the manufacturer of the product said, hey, we think there's an issue on something we supplied to you. And being good suppliers, they have the best interests of the owner of the vehicle at heart. And they voluntarily said, hey, we should get this recalled.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good because, the manufacturer of the part, not Toyota, said there's an issue.
Yeah, that is
and
good
brought
for
it to
the
Toyota's
manufacturer.
information.
Yeah, very good. All right, let's take this caller.
Are we going to call?
Yep.
Excellent.
We'll call and then we will cut to that. All right. Hello, caller.
Yes, Chevy Beretta.
Beretta, right. Very good. Did you have one of those?
What's that?
Did you have a Beretta?
No, I drive trucks.
Oh, okay. Cool. Do you remember the Beretta?
Yeah, it was a convertible too.
Yes, they had the one in the Indy 500 was a convertible. Yes.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I'm a racing fan.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Thank you.
I appreciate the call. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So Chevy Beretta.
Yes.
And, as a matter of fact, that vehicle, I remember working on those when I was a GM technician. A very popular vehicle, two-door coupe, very sporty. They had many different trim levels and versions of sportiness, many different engines. You get the 4-cylinder, different size V6s. And that year, they had to modify, because the Chevy Beretta only had a small V6, well, the maximum size was 3.4 liter, and they had to modify it to be able to keep up with the pace car speeds that were required to keep the pace high enough. So when the green flag dropped, the trucks, the vehicles that were racing were at the proper speed to take off. And just that, another side note, when I was researching this, that year, the winner of the Indy 500, it was a Dutch driver, Arie, A-R-I-E. I'm going to try and pronounce his name, and I'll spell it after that. Luyendyk, Luyendyk. He set the average speed for the race of 185.9 miles per hour. So that year, that a new high speed or average speed was set by that driver. What's significant is that average speed record held for 23 years.
Wow.
So it took 23 years before another average speed that was higher.
What was the speed?
185.9 miles per hour.
185. Okay.
So if you know about the Beretta or had one, give us a call. Let us know what you thought about the Beretta or even the Corsica. The Corsica was a very similar vehicle to the Beretta.
Cool. Awesome. You're listening to the Nathan Markley Show on WNRI. Thanks for listening to this show. As an ad-supported show, we are always looking for new partners with products and services that will benefit our audience. Are you ready to grow your business? Reach out to nathanmarkley.net/advertise and launch your campaign now. You're listening to the Nathan Markley Show on WNRI 1380 AM and 99.9 FM or online at WNRI.com and TuneIn Radio. 401-766-1380, 401-769-0600, or 1-800-949-9674 is the phone number to call. Dad, do we have anything else to talk about?
Oh, absolutely. So in line with that Toyota recall, I just wanted to, bring up a quick snippet. Was it Tuesday of this week? There was an earthquake in Japan.
Oh, okay.
And it was a 7.1 magnitude on that Richter scale. So a very significant earthquake as far as force. And Toyota announced they were shutting down 3 of their plants for 3 days, for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, to inspect and make sure there was no damage. And there was one plant that had a little bit of damage that they had to fix first. But Toyota has shut down 3 plants. Their Kanda, their Miyata, and their Karura, if I'm saying that correctly, location. The Kanda and Karura produced engines, and the Miyata location was producing the Lexus vehicles.
Wait, Toyota produces Lexus?
Yeah, Toyota and Lexus are the co-brands like Ford and Lincoln Mercury were.
I did not know that.
Ford and Lincoln. Oh, yeah.
Was Lexus...
Nissan Infinity.
Was Nissan... Oh, no, sorry. Was Lexus before
Toyota?
Toyota?
No.
So Toyota created that brand?
Toyota was first, yeah.
So Toyota, and then they created Lexus?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought there's 2 separate brands. I learned something today.
Nissan Infinity, the same thing.
Really?
Well, of course, it was Datsun before Nissan, but
And Nissan didn't buy it for
No,
anything?
they just had, they wanted an upscale brand. Like, you know how Ford had the Lincoln brand? You know, luxury vehicles like Lincoln and Mercury?
I thought Lincoln was
Navigator.
I thought that was a separate company.
No. Ford and Lincoln are the same company.
Oh,
So
wow. This is mind-blowing.
These like Toyota and Nissan, they created other companies, other brands for certain markets, all the high-end or high luxury vehicles to compete against the BMWs, the Fords,
right, the
Mercedes. Oh, a lot of that goes on.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So they kind of created these companies that are much higher end. Okay. Makes sense. You get their own thing.
You need to start researching automotive.
I guess
add that to your repertoire of interests and hobbies.
That's,
So not only Toyota shut down, but Honda announced they were going to shut down a plant for three days. So they were shut down for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week.
Must have been
just to make sure there's no damage and everything's okay.
Yeah, it must have been a bad earthquake if they're shutting it down.
Yeah, they don't want to have any issues.
Yeah.
So they halted production for 3 days. Those two companies.
I wonder how that will affect prices too. In the market.
I don't think it's going to affect the prices because it's only 3 days. I mean, it may slow things down of getting, you know, like I said, only one of the plants for Toyota was producing Lexus vehicles. The other two plants were producing engines and assembling engines.
Oh,
so
okay.
It may slow down the orders.
But
it's not going to be I don't think it's going to drive the prices.
They probably have like a stockpile too of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they have inventory, sure.
Interesting. Pretty cool. We're almost time to end the show. It went by really fast, actually, but we had a good show today. We had calls. A few
gentleman
calls.
called in about the Beretta, which is great. And Bill also called in. Thank you, Bill.
Was a Chevy Beretta, was just the 1990 pace car in the Indy 500. I said that right?
Yeah, that'd be significant to you, huh?
Yes. That was a good year. And then we talked about shutter speed, and I'll play that video with Norm I did. And again, you can check that out on YouTube, Markley Chats. I'll be planning on posting more videos on that too. I have a lot more ideas and content I want to create. All good. And I think it's time to wrap it up. I want to thank you all for listening to this Friday night of the Nathan Markley Show. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you being here. If you missed any part of the show or want to listen back, catch the replay on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Thanks for spending your part of Friday evening with me. We'll talk to you all next week. Have a great night, Rhode Island.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Another Friday in the books, lifelines running through the show. You've been riding every turn through the highs and the low. We're closing out the Nathan Markley Show. Thank you for the time you chose. Same place, same dial, you know. See you next week on WNRI. Show on WNRI. It's the Nathan Markley Show on